This chapter was really amazing for a number of different reasons. But did Goku finally make his biggest mistake in Dragon Ball Super so far? Hello and welcome to WonderWyZ, my name is Soham and today we are going to talk about Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter 64. But if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to the channel since I do weekly manga and anime related content. Also, we are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, so a like and a sub would be massively appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin the video. But before directly getting into the manga, I need to talk about one particular thing, and that is, let's all bow down to Toyotaro for this month's chapter. I mean, yeah, Toyotaro's drawing is not the best by any means, and he has a lot of problems with his paneling, with his art and everything. That's fine, that's totally fine, and he has got a lot of criticism for that. But this particular chapter was something totally different. It was so damn good. Barring two pages between 20 and 21, which I'll talk about later on in the video, the entire chapter was magnificent. The expressions on the face of Goku, the change from anger to calmness, the panels of mastered Ultra Instinct, and all the simultaneous movements and fast-paced actions, they were just magnificent. The entire manga chapter looked so brilliant. Now with that being said, let's get into the manga chapter. So as usual, we begin where we left off from last chapter, but we also get a glimpse of the Galactic Patrol who are heading towards Earth in the hopes of capturing Moro. But we see Jaco and Goku in the battlefield. Goku is just clenching his fists. He's obviously angry at the whole ordeal because Miras is after all extinct now. But he remembers the training that Miras gave him. He's trying to calm himself down. He's just trying to calm his emotions, because emotions are the biggest problems or biggest, roadblocks for mastered Ultra Instinct or Ultra Instinct in general. Because Ultra Instinct is something which is not at all dependent upon emotions. You have to let go of your mind. It's a state of supreme consciousness, you can say something like that. Like where your muscles start to think on their own. Obviously, a lot of people have done magnificent videos upon the topic of Mastered Ultra Instinct and Ultra Instinct in general, and I will highly advise all of you to go and watch all of them, because they have really, defined what exactly Ultra Instinct is. I wanted to do some videos of my own like that, but I thought that these videos were well good enough, so I just didn't do something like that. But either way, we finally see Goku calming himself down, and Miras is really perplexed by the whole situation and ordeal. He's not able to understand what exactly happened with Miras, and why is Goku calming himself down instead of, trying to fight Moro. And again, the facial expressions, the change from anger to calmness and then, serenity, that was really beautiful. Goku then goes on to ask something to Jaco. He asks Jaco as to why he joined the Galactic Patrol in the very first place. Jaco screams that he wanted to help preserve the peace in the galaxy, and also the uniforms were pretty awesome. So that's typical of Jaco, but the answer is really something that Goku likes as well. And he says that right, Miras felt something like that as well. And that is something which Goku himself feels as well. After all, he's also a part of the Galactic Patrol, just like Jaco himself, and is looking at his, Galactic Patrol symbol on his key. So this was very nice. The entire paneling was really good here. And with this, he also says that the will of Miras has been passed down to him now, and he's not just fighting for himself. Yeah, sure, this is kind of a contradiction here. I don't really like this line of thinking that Goku is now realizing that he's not fighting for himself. Goku has saved Earth numerous times now, and not just Earth actually, he has saved pretty much a lot of planets in the process, from Frieza to Cell to Buu, and you all know the story of Dragon Ball. So especially towards the end of Buu Saga, before the Spirit Bomb and all, so we all know that Goku was not just fighting for himself, he was fighting for everyone else. So this is something I don't like here, treading back to the old DBZ lines just to give Goku motivation to fight. This was something which I didn't really like that much. But barring these things, I really like the motivation for Goku to move forward, especially with keeping in line the will of Miras, because that thing plays a huge role here. Moro is finally here. He asks that what the hell is going on, and he is obviously perplexed and everything. Goku says that I will fight for the sake of everyone, and obviously the will of Miras is inside me and all. And then the paneling starts. Oh boy, this was amazing. There's this huge aura of energy that is going up. and everyone is shocked as to what exactly is going on. Like, this is old school DBZ stuff, when Goku first went Super Saiyan on Namek and when Goku first went Super Saiyan 3 on Earth. Like, the huge aura and the shock waves which were just, creating massive storms. Like, trees in the forest were swaying away and just water was going haywire. So that kind of a stuff. This paneling was really good. And after this huge explosion of aura, even Piccolo and Gohan exclaims in joy that yes, father has finally done it, father is finally doing it. Hell, even Whis and Beerus are really excited about this. Whis goes on to exclaim, are we going to witness perfected Ultra Instinct? This was good stuff. And after all of this, what we see? Goku. Goku is just staring up at the sky. This panel just gave me goosebumps. Moro is totally perplexed as to what exactly is going on. He has no clue, absolutely no clue about Mastered Ultra Instinct or Ultra Instinct in general, thereby totally nullifying the fact that Moro was a previous angel, like angel or god of destruction or anything. He has absolutely no knowledge about a power like this. So this totally disclaims that theory that he's a Makaioshin or a fallen angel or something like that. Now here, after some dialogues, we finally get to see Goku in his perfected or mastered Ultra Instinct. Cue in the Ultimate Battle theme. This was epic. Obviously I can't add the Ultimate Battle theme song because of copyright issues, but here's my shitty rendition. Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. Yeah, that was pretty shitty. Sorry for the cringe, but I just had to add that. Because Ultra Instinct or Mastered Ultra Instinct is totally incomplete without Ultimate Battle. All of this just reminded me of the awesomeness of Tournament of Power. Those episodes were just crazy. But either way, Goku has finally achieved Mastered Ultra Instinct. And Goku just terrifies him with his speed. Like, Goku's speed is totally out of measures here. He's just manhandling Moro at this point. 1 second he's here, the other second he's there, and this is not even instantaneous transmission. This is literally his speed in Mastered Ultra Instinct. There are just, after images of him leaving one area to another area. It's just so damn fast. Moro tries to attack him. He's trying to, beat him, punch him, kick him, but none of them, not a single one of those attacks hit him. Not a single one of them. It's so damn good. Like, the entire paneling here is absolutely amazing, and this entire thing was so good. Like, I'm not even able to explain it properly. Then we finally get that particular shot. You remember Matrix? Obviously everyone remembers Matrix, when Neo is just not even looking at the bullets and all. That kind of a shot. We get that kind of a shot. Yeah, we all know that Toyotaro and Toriyama were fans of Matrix and all these movie series, so I guess this was a deliberate reference to the Matrix series by Toyotaro, but this was really good. But then we reached the pages of 20 and 21, I believe. These two pages I have a problem with. I know that the intention of these pages were to show and portray Goku's speed, Goku's ungodly level of speed. Like, he's dodging Moro's attacks here and there and here and there. That was really cool, that was really fine. And even the paneling was good here, but I really didn't like those action lines. You know, those action lines or like straight lines which show that there's motion going on. That thing is quite common in manga and anime as well. But here it was just too much. It was just too concentrated, and it kind of broke the tempo of the manga for me for some reason. And especially on page number 21, there's this scene where Moro is trying to kick Goku and Goku is just dodging them one by one, and there's just too much line work there. It's kind of, disorienting for some reason. But moving on from there, we get some really cool action pieces, and Moro is just surprised again and again as to how Goku is able to dodge his attacks. To this, Goku finally reveals that you cannot hit me. Goku finally reveals that this is Mastered Ultra Instinct, where his muscles and his body is moving on its own. He's not thinking about it. This is the reason why he cannot hit him. Moro says that all of this is nonsense and he's not afraid of some godlike power because he's Moro, he's the destroyer of the galaxy and he's above everyone else. He's the supreme being, like, all these trash talks that Dragon Ball villains obviously do. And he just powers up to this huge level, and Goku is just calmly doing his poses, like martial art poses, and this was really good to see. And then you get to see something very interesting. Remember Dragon Ball Super Broly, where Goku in his god form does a weird kind of an attack. It's not exactly an attack, but it's a key binding move, you can call something like that. I don't remember the name of that thing, but in Dragon Ball Legends, when you use that God Goku character, there's a special move which it can do, and that is that with the help of his ki, it can lock its opponents in place. Goku just manages to catch Moro mid-air. It's just so fabulous to look at. And then he just throws Moro up in the sky. This was so damn good. I'm not even gonna lie, this was so damn good. And then Moro is currently in the sky. What does Goku do? Bam! Huge uppercut to the gut. Or uppercut or not, I don't remember what the name of this move is. But this huge punch to the gut of Moro. And this shockwave, man, this was such a huge punch. You won't even realize how big this was. Like, this is shockwave, obviously. With any Dragon Ball attacks, there are shockwaves, right? But this shockwave, the intensity of this shockwave was so huge that obviously Jaco is thrown away from the battlefield, that's quite sure. But even Whis and Beerus feel the effect of this shockwave. And not just that, Piccolo and gang are feeling it. Hell, even the guys on the lookout are feeling it. Like Chi-Chi, Bulma and everyone on the lookout are also present currently. Even they felt it. And lastly, there's a panel of the Earth itself. The entire planet felt the shockwave of Goku's punch. That was a punch worthy of a being like Goku currently. This was so good. Moro is knocked out cold. He's just, lying there on the ground. He's not even able to recover from something like that. And to my utter surprise, who is impressed by all of this? Yes, Beerus, the god of destruction. Beerus himself is surprised of all of this. He says, perfectly done. Even Whis goes on to say that a rare bit of respect from you, that's quite unexpected. But Beerus says that yes, respect where respect is due. Beerus is really fond of this thing. He is really happy of all of this. Well, we all know that Beerus is a fanboy of Ultra Instinct. That was shown in the Tournament of Power as well. So it's not something unexpected to see something like that. But Beerus goes on to say that finish this quickly so that I can have my meal. Typical of Beerus, but this was some good shit. Anyway, Moro just gets up, barely clinging on, exclaims and screams that I am Moro, the supreme being, and there's just aura and energy just flowing out of the earth and everything. I guess this is also lava or magma for some reason, because he's taking out Earth's own energy, and he just tries to get back at Goku, and he tries to punch him from the behind, but Goku just nonchalantly kicks him off, in the face. And in the end, Moro just launches through one of those I guess this is lava only because his arm is blown off and his horns are also blown off, so this is most likely lava or magma from the Earth's surface, and he just lands on a piece of rock. The paneling is really good here. The ground looks really mesmerizing with this lava pool and something like that. Goku does one last kick and Moro just gets trapped under a piece of rock. This was awesome. And in the end, what does he do? He says, "Help me." The audacity of this guy. He asks Goku for help. He says that please don't kill me. Damn, this was some heavy stuff. And then something weird happens. Not gonna lie. And here's my problem why. And here's the reason why I titled this video as "Is this Goku's biggest mistake in Dragon Ball Super so far?" Goku asks Jaco that Moro has a death penalty on his head, right? Jaco confirms that yes, you can finish off this guy. You can just end him right here, right now, so that this terror reign finally comes to an end. To this, Goku does something totally unexpected. He basically goes on to retire from the Galactic Patrol. He rips off his shirt and he says that let me fight as an Earthling from here on. To this, everyone is surprised. Literally everyone is surprised. Jaco is surprised, Whis is surprised, and Beerus is surprised. Beerus even says that I got a bad feeling about all of this. And we all know that what is that bad feeling? The bad habit of Goku to quote-unquote forgive his opponents. I don't know when Goku will learn this, but some opponents are not meant to be forgotten or forgiven. Sorry, not forgotten, forgiven. This is not Naruto's Talk no Jutsu, and Moro will not change after Goku's pleas and everything else. I think this is unfortunately going to go through the Namek route, like how Goku forgave Frieza in the beginning, but Frieza still backstabbed him, and in the end Goku just blasts him off with a Kamehameha. I don't want to see another ending with the similar note, so this in my opinion was a bit odd to see. Who knows, this might be Goku's biggest mistake so far. Who knows, Moro might have some other tricks up his sleeve, some magical tricks which will, manipulate Goku in some sort of a manner. and there once again Goku will lose the chance to defeat this enemy and put an end to his tyrannical rule. I mean, this guy has terrorized the gods of gods and for centuries. Like, this is not something new. This guy is not going to mend his ways because of Goku's words or something like that. I don't know, I have this thing at the back of my mind. Will this finally give Vegeta a chance to redeem himself? I don't know, man. I'm just still thinking that would this give Vegeta his final chance of redemption, of victory? At this point it is really difficult to say something like that, but I don't know, this move by Goku, it doesn't look good at all. So this might very well go on to become the biggest mistake that Goku made in Dragon Ball Super so far, that is trying to pardon Moro. Because let's be real, Moro will try to attack Goku the very next second after he pardons him. So anyway, this was Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 64. What are your thoughts about it? Please mention them in the comment section below. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more. This is WonderYZ and I'll see you soon in the next video.